What's going on, people? It's your boy D Davis, aka Mr. 360, back at it again with another edition of Sports Talking Bull Stuff. This one I've been sitting on for a couple days, just thinking, pondering, waiting and debating, thinking, plotting, trying to scheme, come up off some cream, if you know what I mean. I'm bullshit right now, but this one I've been really thinking about because it just comes to me with more just blatant disrespect, just more blatant disrespect from a certain class of people. I spoke about this in a previous video. Dr. Umar, what we doing? Dr. Umar was out here running with harlots and uh, questionable women. Um, from a person who's a quote unquote black intellectual. But in that video, I talked about the quote unquote black leadership class, and I clearly look at them as a misleadership class. And I'm going to talk about more quote unquote black excellence or leaders or intellectuals. I don't know if I've said in previous videos, but I don't uh, subscribe to the word black because you look at me, I'm not black. And when you look at yourself, if you have been labeled, termed, deemed black or African American, um, for the most part, you're not black. You are different shades of brown for the most part. And the more you know about black, white, and that type of stuff is more of an identification for legal stuff or, uh, yeah, identification for legal and identification for government. So, yeah, you don't get caught up in black. And this is coming from somebody who at one time was like our Malcolm X and all that shit. But the more you know, the more you grow, the more you can see through things and understand what's really going on and what's really at play. So here at Sports Talking Bull Stuff, um, the channel is primarily for sports talk, and this is going to be bull stuff. I hope I am sharing or you are seeing what is on my screen. When I look back at this, I hope it's working properly because this is my first time doing this. So hopefully all my talking is not in vain. But this has been going around the social medias. This was 3 days ago, and this was on Jemelle Hill's Instagram page. We all know Jemelle Hill, right? Former ESPN columnist, journalist, um, commentator, moderator. Now she does something somewhere that who knows watches, who pays attention to. But yes, Jemelle Hill posted this uh, on behalf of the DNC, I presume, because she's a puppet of the DNC. I presume. I presume. I don't know, but it might be true. And things you niggas need to know before you vote. Now, you see how they talk to quote unquote black folk, quote unquote African Americans, Negroes. You see how people like Jemelle Hill, others talk to you, think about you. I'm going to read her little caption here before I. What? So it's not even important what's in here, but I'm going to look at what's in there. I'm gonna read at this. I'm gonna look at this caption right now. So, as we enter into the most critical election of our lifetimes, again, I'm going to pass along the information. I don't care about language. Everybody ain't in the same place, and I'm more than happy to meet folks where they are. Voting isn't the only answer, but it is a tool. Vote in every election, not just the one happening in November. Find out who is your state rep, who is your city council, who is on your city council, your get out of here. So you do stuff when it ain't supposed to happen. Uh, my bad. Find out who is on your state rep, who is on your city council, your board of education, executive, etc. Politicians love apathy. They love people who don't care. They love people who don't think their vote doesn't matter. The best way you can remain part of the political process is to care. Thoughts from Jemelle Hill. All right. I I don't really care about this. 1,200. We only got 1,200, so whatever. Now, this is the point of contention for the FBAs out there, the ADOS crowd, um, the indigenous crowd, the Aboriginal crowd, the so and so's. Uh, the ethnicity of Kay Harris is is she in fact black? Well, let's look at what the DNC says. Honestly, I'm not even sure why this matters to so many of you. Kay Harris identifies as black. She is of mixed heritage with a mother from India and a father from Jamaica. Her father, Donald, is of Afro Jamaican descent, which contributes to her black identity. Additionally, she has often spoken about her pride and her diverse heritage and how it has shaped her identity and perspectives. It actually doesn't matter if she was green. The other option is an orange racist felon who aims to be our dictator. Well, that's a lot in this one. Um, well, is Kamala Harris, is Kay Harris, is she even American? You got to get into the to the ethnicity and the color spectrum stuff. It, is she even American? I don't think she was born in America. I think she was born in Canada. How is she gonna be president? I know she went to a HBCU because I'm pretty sure that's going to be in here somewhere. She went to a HBCU and love the HBCUs, but I, I don't give a damn about a HBCU. And I've heard stories about from people who've gone to HBCUs and some of them professors and some of them people running things in them HBCUs, they sound just like the KKK. So it sounds like KKK in blackface because a lot of those people they perpetuate the brown paper bag stereotype of what 100 years ago that people of color had to be of a certain hue, certain shade to attain assess attain success in this in the Jim Crow South. That's something that they came. Um, but yeah, is she even American? Yeah. So don't get me started with the HBCUs because I know people who go to HBCUs. I ain't go to a HBCU. I know people who went to HBCUs. Not all, but some. I ain't too impressed by them. Saudi, take it how you want, but you can do all the stomping in the yard you want. But that has not improved in the quality of the life of the so-called black or the quote unquote African American or the quote unquote Negro in this country. So all that little posturing y'all doing ain't amounting to a hill of beans. So you can miss me with the HBCU talk. Uh, Don, D. Harris, Don Harris, Afro Jamaican descent. That's in question. Oh boy, I done seen him. Yeah, I don't know, because Jamaica has a lot of diversity there, so it's hard to distinguish an indigenous, Aboriginal Jamaican from people who came along in the trafficking of humans or cargo of goods that happened between what the 15th, 16th century up until 19th century. Yeah, so it's a lot of in the Caribbean, all over the world. I'm getting to a point where I don't even use the word. I'm starting not to use the word indigenous or aboriginal because with the migration patterns and comings of new regimes and new empires and new kingdoms and people being displaced and transported. Look into what transport is. Transported from one place to another, or if people have fallen under, if they become felons or debt prisoners or debt slaves, and what happens to those people? They get transported, they get moved around from one area, one location, one continent to another. It's very interesting once you start going deep into the history of what the last 500-600 years. You gotta dig deep. It's not about all about what they tell you on TV or the books that they give you in school. It's not about that. You gotta really dig deep. When you're going into colleges and you pick your courses, there's degree or there's levels of classes, particularly history, physics, maths, things like that, where you move up. And the more you know, the harder it is, the more detail oriented it is. So you ain't going, they ain't going to just say, oh, he's from the yard, man. The yard. She, she, she brethren. Nah, nah, cousin. That ain't gonna work with me. So we gonna tear through this whole thing because they playing with you. They playing with us. These people is really playing with us. I'm gonna go further into it. This gonna probably be my longest one I've ever made because I got a lot to say and I just feel I got to say it. Because if I don't say it, who gonna say it? There's many people out there saying it, but for the people who've decided to watch my channel, give me some views, they need to be educated upon this whole grooves that we got going on right now. So your a vote does matter. The popular vote influences the U.S. Electoral College by determining the winner in each state. Most states use a winner take all system where the candidate with the most votes gets all the state's electoral votes. This makes the overall popular vote important, but not decisive, as the Electoral College decides the presidency. Candidates focus on swing states to secure the necessary 270 electoral votes to win. Even if your vote doesn't matter, it doesn't hurt to use your voice anyway. Well, that's just participating in some bullshit that don't matter. It's like it's just participating in some bullshit. I don't have an allegory or a metaphor to come up with right now because you're wasting your time. If you live in Florida, Florida isn't turning blue because over the last 4 years, Florida was one of the freest places to be. When everybody else was under communist socialist control. So they're not going to vote blue. That's not going to happen. In other places that experienced freedom, then they're going to turn, no, it's not going to happen. So essentially, voting in the presidential uh, election, Kay Harris did not lock up thousands of black men. During Harris's tenure as California Attorney General from 2011 to 2017, over 1,900 people were admitted to state prisons for marijuana or hashish related charges. But cannabis related charges in California are prosecuted by district attorneys and individual counties, not attorney generals. Kay Harris was the district attorney for San Francisco from 2004 to 2011. And during her tenure, she only sentenced 45 people total, not just black people, to state prison for marijuana related charges, according to Mercury News. Presidential candidates aren't perfect, but at least know the facts. Well, I know for sure that that factual statement that was listed here, printed here, right here, that's a whole bunch of bullshit because I go on the internet and I see a whole bunch of stories and I see mothers. Oh yeah, see this is also misleading because I know that in San Francisco they was locking up mothers of students who were truant. So this whole thing right here is misleading, and this is more, you know, propaganda from the and uh, I don't even know what Agenda 47 is, but apparently it's not for my black ass. You see how they talk to you? You see how they talk to you? Trump's Agenda 47 poses serious risk to Black and minority communities. It plans to cut funding for schools teaching critical race theory and eliminate diversity programs, reducing support for students of color. The agenda aims to implement more aggressive policy measures, including the reintroduction of stop and frisk practices, which disproportionately target Black and minority individuals. It also proposes the death penalty for drug dealers and grants immunity to police officers, potentially increasing racial injustice and police violence. Additionally, it seeks to shut down the Department of Education, further undermining education equity. These measures will reinforce systematic racism, exacerbate disparities, and hinder progress toward justice and equity in these communities. Agenda 47 is directly from the Trump administration. Now, people want to know that what CRT is. CRT is one of the most divisive things that I think is out there because it is divisive both uh, for blacks and whites, and it's a very dismissive and simplistic way of explaining current race relations in this country. By I'm not too well versed in it because I see things for what it is, and I could just some eyes that is bullshit. Because at the crux of it, regardless of what they tell you, what it is white people are inherently racist. And because they're inherently racist, they have to be educated to not be racist and taught to not be racist by people of color. So what must happen is these mighty, fierce, bold uh, uh, black people or people of color must educate the whites for their uh, evil, the evils that they have committed or they're going to do because they're innately evil. Now, as somebody, I was a child of the ghetto. I'm a child of the ghetto. I was raised in the mean streets, grew up and well, my grandma kept me in the house because she loved me, protected me. But I seen it. I was around it. I was amongst it, child of the ghetto. I didn't know many white people. And then when my mama, she got us out the ghetto and we went to a lesser ghetto. But I saw I met white people. I knew white people. I was friends with white people. I am friends with white people. I don't think they're innately evil. So, because I know them, so that eliminates that out of the the equation, and the fact that the people, these mythical, bold, fierce, quote unquote, black people that they hate white people. They say some of the most racist shit that you can hear from people, but at the same time, they're also friends with white people and are involved in intimate relationships with white people, which is very mind boggling to me because if I hate somebody and if I'm so against them, I won't have any association with them. So, what's being done right now by many of the leadership of the quote unquote blacks is they're talking out of two sides of their mouths and they're not practicing what they preach because you can come outside of your neck with the black men ain't this. No, no, no. No, what they do, see, that's the feminists. Don't get me started in feminists, but what these people get on TV do. I hate the white man. I hate the white man. I hate the white man. White man this, white man that. On TV, write in their articles and post on social media and on Twitter and all that, but then be laying up with the white man. So make it make sense because it's not making sense. These are the people that put CRT on you because they want to. They hate the white man. The white man is so evil, but yet you're procreating with the white man and the white woman. I don't get the hypocrisy. So I cannot, in my heart and in my mind, just say these people are evil. That's not how this works. And regardless of the media's, because the media, a lot of this stuff is driven by the media. We receive narratives on TV and everything, and books and magazines and newspaper at which try to create division. But if you go out in the streets, for the most part, black, white, Mexican, his, I guess Mexican, Hispanic, um, all the races, all the colors and stuff. Well, let me not say that. For the most part, white and black folks get along. For the most part, you got your issues, but for what they want to do and what they want to impose and all this stuff, nah, nah, nah. And they say all this stuff and they want to reintroduce stop and frisk practices, but you isn't that New York under what Giuliani and under who's the dude that tried to run for president? Um uh something Witz. Not Leibowitz. The short dude that ran for government, tried to run for president. I think he was a mayor of New York. During them Democratic uh mayorships in New York, they practice all this stuff that they say Trump gonna do. Stop and frisk, aggressive police measures. When you look at most of the of the high impact incidents that have occurred over the last, what, 12, 15 years, involving people of color, black folk, and law enforcement, they are happening in democratic cities: New York, Chicago, St. Louis, Oakland, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Houston, New Orleans. I can keep going. Memphis. These are democratic cities. You have all this this racial disharmony, this aggressive acts by the police in those democratic cities. But yet, yet, I want to take those policies that were uh, creating racial animus and disharmony amongst the blacks and whites and the residents of that community. You want to bring that to the national stage? It's already national, but you want to really bring it to the national stage. But you also want to say that Trump's doing what y'all already been doing for decades. See, this is great Hill work on this channel. For those who are, is it? I guess is it. For those on this channel who've been watching this channel, this is primarily a sports channel. This is primarily a sports channel, and I do wrestling. And a great heel projects upon the baby face. Not saying that the other side is the baby face, but in pro wrestling, this is all make believe, theatrical bullshit. A great heel projects upon the face. Now, I'm looking for, we got fine. What's this? What's this? What's this? They don't find you worthy enough to cover your rallies. I wouldn't find worthy even to sit down and talk. Because her rallies got fake people. Nobody shows up to her rallies. That's why they're not covering them. And when I just saw a picture of one of her one of her rallies, and they got, it's AI, like they're grafting images into her rallies. Now I need to find Uncle Luke. Where Luke at? Because Luke would, it's a, yeah. See, I said this years ago. I said this years ago. The rappers, they the new preachers. See, the preachers was telling us that bullshit last 120, no, last 400 years. Preachers been telling us bullshit, just leading us astray, leading us down the river. And then you got a career, a lifelong horror monger such as Uncle Luke, putting on his cape for the DNC. A message to all black men who have left the DNC. You have until Sunday. Have until Sunday to do what? Yeah, it's another video. But I don't even know if I don't even know how to, okay. It's looking, this is the this is the sound stupid makes. Didn't he rip off the rest of Two Live Crew? Uh why should I come back? So I like watching the comments. You want to learn how people really feel, These Sambos are something else to do. I ain't gonna say that, but man, let me get back to let me get back to me because this is my first time sharing, so bear with me. I'm gonna stop sharing. Can I stop sharing? I don't want to share them. Am I not sharing? Cool. You're scaring, sharing, screen sharing is balls. Okay, but this is who tells us what to do. See, this is going to be a high level conversation. So, when I was in school, when I was in graduate school, I had to look at things from the macro, meso, and micro levels. So the micro is what affects us from the day to day, what we see, what we experience. Um, it's just our everyday experiences. And then there's the meso, where the meso is the area above us, and I would say this the media. Um, I guess in your school system, your education system, colleges, anything that you receive visual, audio, stimulation from. That's your meso. So where you receive your information and how you receive your information. That's your meso. Um, it also may be, wherever you work, you know, unless you're up top. I don't know who watches this, but most people are, or a lot of people, the majority are in the lower ends, and if you happen to be in management and upper management, then you rise above them. And as we know, the workers they answer to the management, and the management answers to the big boss. So the big bosses. So we have to understand that um, in life. So we're the little ants, we're the worker bees, and then we get our marching orders from TV, radio, media, magazines, newspaper, social media, even a brother like myself, I guess. I'm operating, or they're operating in the meso world, and I think most people's understandings, or a lot of people's understandings of of those stratas. I don't even think a lot of people understand these levels exist within the world. And a lot of people have a myopic view of the world. So everything is self-centered, everything is about them. They only know what they experience, and they build or base their life off of their experiences, whether good or bad, because in reality, that's all that we can do. But others that could lead into self-centeredness, where it's all about me and not worrying about anybody else, which goes into narcissism, which is another thing. But you want to not hear from that not one dimensional, but one sided or limited. It's a limited sided view of the world and your experiences and the controllers and the mechanisms that are at play, which impact how we, on the micro level, uh, experience and live our lives. We may not acknowledge it, but don't have a word for it. So the easiest way I could break it down is right now, most people are at the micro, you're a worker. Above that, you have the management system, the overseer system, which oversees, instructs, tells us what to do. And then above that are the controllers. the people who pull the strings of the people on the meso level, which pull the strings for people on the micro level. So when I look at Black misleadership, I look at people like Jemelle Hill or Luke or any of these other idiots that's on TV, Dr. Umar, um, Roland Martin, uh, it, it, uh, Joy Reid, anybody on TV, anybody on these news networks, um, telling you to be in fear and you got to do this, or martial law is coming, or uh, 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 or a dictator is coming, or all that. That's a bunch of garbage, and they're doing that stuff to incite a response in you to do what they want you to do. A lot of it is or Pavlov's dogs. You know, you tease them, let them get the scent of something, and you can manipulate their uh, behavior based off of holding something over them, giving them a little something this time, a little something that time. You know, it's a game of give and take. It's a lot of it is it's just straight up manipulation, lies, deceit. These people aren't for you. These people definitely aren't for you. The Jemelle Hills and the Charlemagne the Gods and anybody connected to big money interests who are supposedly speaking on your behalf or speaking for you or operating in a role in which they are giving you game on uh, things to do as far as a political sense. Um, yeah, they is not for you. They are not for you. They will never be for you. I don't care how they come to you, um, saying this and that, and the presentation that they give off. Like we taken we've been taking political advice from people who are not even. You taking political advice from Cardi B? You taking political advice from Two Chains? You taking political advice from Luke, Uncle Luke, Freak Show Luke? I knew this shit was a wash when Diddy was with the voter die. That was 2004, and I saw the way it was going. And I said then, I said, "Oh, the rappers is the new preachers because brothers ain't going to the church how they used to because we didn't seen what that is, the finesse that thing has been, it is, and will continue to be. Because when you got people who are less than holy, pretending to be holy, and supposedly giving you a message on how to better yourself, even though they can't better themselves without uh, enriching themselves on your dollar. The only way they better themselves is by your dollar. A lot of these people they don't have a trade, they don't have a gift, they don't have a talent, they have a profession. They hustle. That's just the church. Now think about Jemelle Hill, somebody who's been through the ringer of the sports world, flamed out at ESPN, but called blame racism, called racism, even though I knew her and Michael Smith took that show from noon to 6 p.m. He tried to take that because the show at noon was marketed for niggas. It was a show for for them to be buffoonish and do a bunch of I think I was entertained by it at the time because my level of I didn't know I didn't know what I know now, so I was probably entertained by it and probably into the rhetoric that they were saying. You know, damn the white man and honky this and honky. I don't know if they was using honky, but you know, it was very just racist. You know, it. I won't say it was racist, but I can see as a white man, I'd be like, oh, I ain't gonna watch this shit because they're talking down to the audience. And then when they took it to 6 p.m. Sports Center time slot, I said that ain't gonna work because the 6 p.m. Sports Center slot was like that's traditional viewing in many, I guess, white homes where they had to go watch Chris Berman and Stu Scott talk the news at talk sports at 6 p.m. So I knew that show was not going to resonate with them because you can't talk down to your audience. Just can't do it. And this is what they're doing right now. But instead of the white man being the audience, the niggas is the audience. And they talking down to you. And they've been talking down to you. Anytime that you um, display a level of thought that is outside of the plantation mentality, the plantation that them middle class, because these people who mislead you, they're very high paid. They're highly paid. They're living very good. People that got you looking at the white man and making you believe that, oh, we're nothing but slaves and we're from Africa and we've always had nothing. And white man always been on top. Them people, they've always lived very good. Always lived very good. Always. Those people been living high on the hog for a long time. Their ancestors and them, yeah, yeah. I guess the ancestors that was voting, their ancestors that were voting, yeah, yeah. They've been living very high on the hog. And they'll tell you, oh yeah, your ancestors died to vote. No, they didn't. My ancestors died from either eating pork or natural causes. They wasn't out in the streets talking about voting and things like that. So a lot of what we get from our misleadership class, that middle class, that class that is put out there to get us thinking about stupid stuff and investing ourselves in a system that does not give a fuck about you. Because guess what? A lot of these people get paid based off of how much they can deceive the masses. So, brother like me, I'm trying to put them all out of business. All them charlatans, all them people out here stomping on the yard and twirling canes and got up. I'm in the 5150 fan page on Facebook, and ever since Kay Harris, Cop Mala, then came on the scene, has been uh, selected selected to do what she been doing. That's a whole bunch of goofballs in that Facebook page. No, I know we everybody know who they are because they're getting clowned. They getting clowned as yard stompers. If you don't know what a yard stomper is, a cane twirler, it's them people usually making a good amount of money, usually good, have good jobs, have very good jobs, prominent positions, prominent titles. Those people, those people get up on social media. They have access to radio or TV. They get up on TV, radio. They write a little article advocating the stupidest shit, the most backwards, self-defeating stuff out there. Them people that came into a comedy, a no holds barred comedy Facebook group, and they it's lying, it's capping, it's is It's accusing people who just got good sense. Just got good sense. People are just tired of being lied to. People just tired of being lied to. They want to set the record straight. Accusing them of all types of stuff and look, it's a lot of people out here that is not for you and they look just like you, same skin tone, same shades of skin. Uh, it goes back to the old adage, all skin folk ain't kin folk. So what I do right now is I look at anybody that tries to say, "Nah, look at the white man. Look at this." I start looking at them. Yeah, what you doing, player? Because you want to divert the attention off something. You want me looking here. You want us all just doing goofy stuff all around, but we're always being distracted by people who look just like us. So um, I don't know what I'm going to name this. Jemelle Hill and the Negro Misleadership Part Two. I could probably this could be a series. This could be a docu series. Uh, Negro misleadership, Black misleadership, African American misleadership. The people who classified you and named you African American misleading you. People who named you Black and got you up in the streets saying Black power, they misled you. We have to get back to, we got to get back. We can't continue to be misled. There's things that we have to do. There's things that we have to be different. We got to shut out, shut off TV. Go outside, take a walk, take a hike, ride a bike, play some basketball, play some football, play some baseball, be active, go with your family, go with your friends. Just disconnect from this. And 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 I say this as somebody who makes videos about the bread and circus. I make videos about the clown show and the nonsense that happens. But that's how I, that's how I debrief, get what I got to get out of me. And I hope everybody finds uh, a relief. Got to twist on that pressure valve. Get the steam out. And that's what this media, people like Jemelle Hill and Roland Martin and Joy Reid and everybody on TV, even the sports people. I love Paul Pierce as a basketball player, but I know he has to say what what they write down on paper for him. LeBron, he need to go. He wanted to go. So you got to go with that. Just because you're on TV, you're collecting a check. You're a servant. You're indentured. But it comes to a point where you hired me, you didn't buy me. And I think a lot of these people in that mezzo talking to you, that separates them from the people, from the masses, from the people making the YouTube videos. Some of them, because even the ones making YouTube videos, they answer. They got strings too. They collecting checks too from corporate interests. Ones on YouTube too. Yeah, yeah, they collecting the check too. So watch out. Be careful. be weary or be leery of what's going on out there because these people don't respect you. They know who you are. They know exactly who you are. People is lying on TV to lying to you every day, making up shit. Regardless of what you feel about 45 Donald Trump, regardless of what you feel about him, only thing I know is gas was under $2 when you didn't have to donate blood or plasma to afford groceries. That's, that's just the little stuff. That's all I need to know that the other side, no. Even though I ain't going for no side, I just know I've seen what the DNC has to offer. Everybody has seen what the DNC has to offer. The only ones that's pretending or projecting, because that's their only, that's the only, that's the only way they have a chance. It's by saying this other person is the devil. This other person is Hitler. And because this other person is devil Hitler, that makes us good. That's their only argument. Devil Hitler, good. What makes you good compared to Devil Hitler? Well, we're not Devil Hitler. And when people of my complexion, similar complexion, darker, it's different. Uh, what is the definition of America from the 1828 Webster's Dictionary? The definition of America are the Aboriginals, copper-colored people found or discovered by the Europeans. Copper. I totally lost my spot on where I was going, but what was I talking about? I forgot. But also, 1828 definition, Webster's definition of American, copper colored peoples discovered by the Europeans. So people know who you are. These people know who you are, and they know who they aren't. And a lot of these people are collecting a good sum of money to make sure that you stay exactly where the fuck you at. And if you knew who you were, truly, game's over. But what they do is, these are the people who look exactly like you. What they do is confound and confuse and distract you. Got you lost in Kansas. Got you as a straw man looking for some heart, looking for some smarts. Sounds like a Wizard of Oz type thing. But once you peel back that curtain, things start getting a little bit clearer. But their job as the little witches, the little monkeys, that's I'm getting a whole lot of trouble if I if I see Jemelle Hill, one of them little flying monkeys for the Wizard of Oz. Her and lots of them as men as well, little monkey men on little brooms. try and distract you and scare you and get you off that golden road to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. But yeah, these are my thoughts on the Black Miss Leadership class. Charlatans, uh, uh, liars, treacherous, traitors. But when we say traitor, that's something that we gotta understand. Um, we gotta understand it's more better. You gotta understand it's better. um, we're not all in this together. And once you understand we're not all in this together, you start to understand the world a lot better. So even though with some New Testaments, we're all one under JC, survey says that is wrong, because if we were all in this together and we were all one under JC, we would not see all the division that we see coming from the institution that propagates and promotes the doctrine of the supposed JC. So sometimes we use sellout and we use traitor, and those people aren't selling out. They have no affinity for us. They have no camaraderie with us. They're not of us. When you start to look at the world like that, and you know who's for you and who's not for you, and why do these people get put up in these positions and get propagated into these titles, you really start to understand the world. And this is on the micro, macro, meso, macro scale. Anybody who they putting up on your face, who who's constantly being thrown on the TVs, on the Instagrams, when they pop up first on your in your Google machines, you wasn't even looking for them. Just know that person, that entity, them people, they're there because the system wants them to be there. And just like Jemelle Hill and Luke and any of these, Roland Martin, Joy Reid, I'm trying to think of the ones who speak and say just dumb, Cornell West, dumb people, because this is your academic. Because Dr. Umar, he's like your street academic person, and Umar's extremely popular in the streets, in the urban culture. But Dr. Umar ain't on TV. So Dr. Umar, even though he has a fan base, that fan base is dwindling because Dr. Umar is showing who he is. You can't go this long without no school, no progress. And it seems like you just keep going backwards. It seems like you just keep simping and caping for women who are exhibiting horrendous behavior. Dr. Umar, you think you could save them lost women? You think you can throw on a daishiki and a little head wrap and pour some libations out? You think that's gonna save them lost women? No, Doctor. They will be saved. You gonna lose them even more. Doctor Umar is not. Doctor Umar is not on TV. He may go on the Breakfast Club every now and again, but I don't think he got the pull that he once had. Because the streets wake up faster than the streets be on it. Now these other clowns, the Jemelle Hills and Doctor anybody, Doctor Eric Eric Tyson, Michael, the dude that be using the big words, Michael Eric Tyson, uh, Dyson. It's the it's the astrophysics charlatan, him, that's Dyson, and then you got the one that use all the big words. It don't matter. Charlatan frauds. Cornell West, charlatan fraud. Socialist, charlatan fraud. Dr. King, socialist, charlatan fraud. You know, Dr. King got the first uh, Planned Parenthood award named after who's that lousy heifer? Uh, uh, Planned Singer, Margaret Singer, Dr. King, Dr. King, supposed Christian pastor, Christian minister, is out here propagating for abortion and getting awards for it. This is what your leadership class is. This is what your leadership class does. I'm no fan of Dr. King because I know. You've seen the video, seen the pictures of him sitting in those training schools. Know what he was? He wanted the uh, the further socialized communization of America because Dr. King was a strong proponent of welfare. And we all know what the welfare system has done to the uh, quote unquote black, quote unquote African American, quote unquote Negro communities, and what uh, families or mothers had to do to achieve or receive welfare. They had to separate them homes. They had to get the daddy out of the homes. And if you go back to the Monahan report in the 60s, Mon- the Monahan report said that there should be an investment in black, quote unquote, black fathers or black men, because that was going to help the family. So to receive welfare, the father has to not be in the home. And we all know what that does to the development of children when there's no father figure in the home. And what I will say is having a father figure in the home is important and it's great, but having the right man in the home is more important. Having the right woman in the house is more important than anything. You have to be right, both man and woman. You have to be right within. When those two are right within, then what is produced from within the two is going to be just right. But when it ain't that, when the when the seed is corrupt, the fruit will be corrupt as well. Message? But yeah, this is what Dr. King pushed on us. This is the system that he advocated for. This is the breakup of the black family, quote unquote. This is the community no longer being a community. regardless of what anybody says or the narrative that's out there, in the 50s, the 60s, the wealth gap, there really wasn't no wealth gap in the 50s. Like, quote unquote, blacks did very well in the 50s. And then there was the civil rights era, and all of the wealth, the money that was within those black communities, quote unquote, they went elsewhere. And then those communities went to shit. And when those communities went to shit, trusty government was there to further ruin those communities by separating the fathers out of the house and making the women relying on welfare, and also funding the funding the eventual uh, creation of the black women you can't tell shit to, because these black women went and got college degrees and uh, government funded childcare, and they think and thought that they could do it all themselves, and they still think they can do it all themselves today. Many men are saying, "Well, go do it yourself," and it's not working out too well. But as a Jemelle Hill does, they go on lots of trips, put on lots of makeup, get lots of hair, buy lots of hair, get the fingernails did and toes did, just to make them feel better, to give off this image that they are boss bitches. I don't need a man, I'm a boss bitch. All that shit. But we look at the results in the community. How is that working? I'm a results oriented person. So you could tell me you're the most educated people in the world. You can tell me you're the most educated people in the world or in the country, but I don't see the results. Because for the most educated people in the world, and this is not about black women, I love black women. This, because I'm gonna say that Jemelle Hills, the Joanne Reeves, all the women on TV with all the fake hair and dialed up and looking crazy. Um, they influence. Remember the mezzo and the micro, because them people on TV they hate themselves and they're trying to be somebody else, trying to be people that they aren't. They influence the people looking up. You shouldn't be looking up to them, but the people on the bottom they influence them to do the same dumb shit, to hate themselves as well. It's all about influence. That's why I go hard at these people, because not only are they puppets, not only are they being used, not only do they know what they're doing and that they're misleading the masses, they also hate themselves. That's why they disguise themselves up and try to look like white women. You don't like white men, you don't like white women, but many of these people have white husbands and dress up like white women. So it's the confusion and the delusions within these people that is spread about the masses, because those people are put on television and magazines, and they're on the algorithms and the social medias. Those people pop up the most because they are a part of the system, the very system that they try to claim or make it seem that they are fighting against. Do you understand what I'm saying here? The people supposedly fighting the system are, in fact, employees of the system. And these, or this, is your Black, quote unquote, misleadership class. This is D. Davis here, aka Mr. 360. This has been Sports Talk and Bull Stuff. If anybody has any issue about what was said in this program, in this stream, in this presentation, if anybody has anything to say about it, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Comment. Let me know where I'm wrong. Let me know where I miscited. Let me know if I have misspoke. I may have misspoke because I misspeak a lot. I'm just going off the top of my head. I don't have a script like the people who I've spoken about. I don't get my marching orders from anybody. I haven't made any pledges. I haven't danced around the square. I haven't stomped around the yard. I'm a independent, free-minded contributor who is looking to help inform and provide those who may be lost, may be misguided, try to get them back in where they're supposed to be. Try to get you into some green grass and not in a desert. Right now, I'm lost people in the desert. Get you some green grass, get you some seeds, start planting some stuff, you pop off. But first, you have to know that you are lost. If you are lost, you don't know that you're lost. And the way that you know that you're lost is how you react and how you feel when confronted by things that you have no knowledge of, or things that may disrupt your thoughts on reality. But we have to understand when we look at the micro, meso, macro levels, most people, a lot of people only look at things from the eye. How does it affect me? What do I see? Which is phenomenal, but you got to expand that. You got to expand that in the micro. Look at the expanse of the micro. Look at the expanse of the meso, and then look up to the expanse of the macro. So this is like three-dimensional thinking. You have to be three-dimensional to understand what's going on, to be fully regulated in yourself, in your body, in your thoughts. This is what needs to happen. Just understanding, full perspective, not only of your environment or the three stratas, but you also have to be introspective of you and how these things affect you or potentially harm you or potentially help you. So we have to do a type of analysis, a type of assessment on what has been our existence, how that has affected us, and if we are suffering consequences from the system and its effects upon us. If you need any help with that, go to 360mbaa.com. If you have any questions, any further questions, you go to info@360mbaa.com. D. Davis, I'm here to help, I'm here to hopefully inspire, hopefully motivate, hopefully stimulate, hopefully make you think something that you didn't think before. Make you feel something that you haven't felt before. Help you experience something that you haven't experienced before. This is Sports Talking Bull Stuff. D. Davis, Mr. 360, out.